Good morning or afternoon. My name is Patricia Antali. I'm the publisher and editor of ImagineMexico.com, and we're so pleased today to have Chef David Jones from the Cordon Bleu Culinary School in Cancun, Mexico. Welcome, Chef Jones. Chef David.
Thank you for having me.
I was delighted to have talked to you earlier this week. I'm from a cooking family. I shared with you that my father, who's 92 years old right now, was one of the leaders in the fast food industry in the United States. So I truly appreciate the accomplishment that you've made, and tell our readers about it. I understand you're originally from Louisiana. How did you get to the culinary school in Cancun?
I have to try to give you the short version because a lot took place in between all of that. Between leaving the Navy, leaving Louisiana at the age of 17, joining the Navy for 20 years, came back to Louisiana after that. Stayed in Louisiana for about 4 years, moved to Dallas, was working different jobs there, and ended up working for AT&T. Left there after 4 years and went to culinary school. Decided to spring out and do what I love. And I graduated from the Cordon Bleu after a year in the school. I was working at the House of Blues Dallas as a chef there when the cigar lounge guy comes in smoking cigars and started talking about Mexico and talking about how economical it was to live there, and you guys should check it out. And when he was living in Rosarito at the time, and he was like, man, check it out. I can set you up with some people. And I started looking at that. I'm like, I can go here and never have to work again. Oh man, let me check this out. So that was in June of 2016. And I said, well, let me make a plan. My son graduates college in 2017. When he got out of college, I threw all of my stuff in storage and I moved to Mexico sight unseen in 2018.
Wow.
And
sight unseen, you moved. Yeah, well, I can't say anything. I moved. I did the same thing years ago, so I can't talk.
And, I ended up opening up a restaurant before I found a place to live, and I wasn't trying to do that. But once that took place, I gave it a little while and said, you know what, let me get back to just enjoying my retirement life. But I didn't care for the weather so much, and so I started looking for different places to move to. I went to Guadalajara for 5 days, and then the next month I went to Puerto Vallarta for 5 days. 4 months later, I went to Playa del Carmen, and I went there for 2 days. And 3 weeks later, I moved there, and this has been home ever since. And looking at Le Cordon Bleu, I was doing some catering here, some in-home chef work, doing cooking classes here. And like I said, I went to a food festival and saw some Le Cordon Bleu students. And from that point, I reached out to one of the instructors there, asking them if they need some help. And here I am. They hired me on. I found out I'm hired about a week and a half ago, and I'm still waiting to get all the details, but probably won't start until after the summer break. So I'm excited to be going from a student to an instructor there.
I want to give our viewers a little bit of geography. Imagine Mexico is based out of Zihuatanejo. We're on the Pacific coast, just north of Acapulco. Where you are, you're living in Playa del Carmen in the state of Quintana Roo and working in Cancun, and that's on the Atlantic coast. And I understand Playa del Carmen and Cancun, it's driving distance, right? It's not that far.
Yeah, 45 minutes, 35 minutes with, depends on the time of the day. This is considered the Mexican Riviera. We're pretty much part of the Caribbean. We have the North, the South Atlantic, kind of north of us, but we're sitting on the Caribbean. So it's a beautiful place to be.
Well, absolutely. We're Riviera on this side too. Tell me about your classes. We were talking earlier this week about, first of all, I was surprised that you're going to be teaching all the classes in English. It just surprised me. Okay. And then you were saying that you're going to have a business aspect to it.
Yes, so all of the students that are there are bilingual students from all over, but they're mostly Spanish-speaking students. The Cordon Bleu requires them to have classes in English only. Unfortunately, they don't have any native English speakers on board right now. So I will be the only native English speaking person there. And these classes that they're required to take are going to be more of a business type classes, entrepreneurship, restaurant management, how to begin a restaurant and open up a restaurant, uh, the things that they're going to be required to learn and take out into the world, because a lot of those students will not be going to a French culinary school.
Mhm.
They may not be going into something that is strictly a Mexican-based restaurant or Spanish restaurants. So they have to have these courses in English, and they want to be able to speak. As a matter of fact, when I went to the first interview, they invited me to come back that same week for the college students that were the graduates that were going to be going out, and they had a dinner for them, and I had the opportunity to speak one of the students' parents, and he and I were talking. He says, "Wow, I hope they hire you because we need some English practice in the school, and we don't get a chance to do that. And I wish my daughter was able to take your class in English, but she's graduating, so you're going to be a great asset." And when he told me that, I was like, "Wow, I didn't realize how much they really needed that there."
You're an example of someone with professional skills, and because of your language capabilities, you're able to implement those professional skills here in Mexico. Same with me. I came from a business background, and I ended up consulting with the Hotel and Restaurant Association because of my business background and able to speak English. So I identify with you and your mission. I'm just so happy again to hear about everything. And of course, you've got to come to the Pacific Riviera and come visit us. So expect an invitation real soon from Guerrero and the people of Zawataneo, because we want you to come cook for us. And all macaroni and cheese, greens, good stuff. Put my order in right now.
Oh yeah, that's good. You can
Again,
get your
thank you,
hands on it.
Chef, so much. And for our readers, we're going to have an article about Chef David in the June edition of ImagineMexico.com. Thank you.
Thank you.